Hey guys, it's Monday night and you're watching Sizzle This with me and Christy and Donna. And Christy, you want to introduce our special guest?
I'm so excited. I feel like we have a celebrity in my house. It's weird. But we have Brian Parks from Musclegen Research with us tonight to talk about this amazing company that y'all know that I love so much that I blow up the newsfeed with. But we're just going to go, we're going to bypass how everybody's week was because we've had a late start with Google Chrome. So it's like, we just want to get into the meat and potatoes of this. But Brian, how have you been? We'll just go real quick with you.
Oh man, it's crazy but good. That's my life typically anyway. But I'm glad to be able to join you guys tonight. Sorry, it was my delay.
No, you're fine.
Technology-wise, formulating formulas for fat burners and proteins, I'm good at. Technology, not so much.
He wants to go back to old school beepers. That's how he wants to go.
That's right.
All right, Donna's going to be covering anything that comes in through YouTube, and I sent Brian a bunch of questions, and he's already replied to them, so I'm just going to go through them, and he's going to read them, go through them over again. So let's go first. We had one from Trisha Pretty from Pretty Losers, and she wanted to know any plus-size clothing coming into the shop, and why is Brian against spoons when it comes to stirring their Gene Pro? So
okay, well, when I first read that question, I was like, I am not against spooning whatsoever. But when it comes to trying to mix powders, the fork is better because it allows aeration, the air between those forks of the fork, so it eliminates the clumping. But as far as, if the spoon works for you, I don't want to change it. And, if you want to go to KFC and get a spork and that works for you, that's good too. But I'm not against spooning. Really, I'm not.
I use a mini whisk in mine, so. What about plus-size clothing? Is it coming to the shops?
It is. Now, I'm going to take a step back a little bit. I own Gym Mafia and Misfit Clothing as well, so we've got a pretty good alliance with some good clothing manufacturers, but we've only gotten 2 articles of clothing from them that they quote me as being plus size, and we really want to stay fashionable and functional, and both items that they sent us just weren't what we thought were either one of those. They weren't very good quality, and honestly, it didn't look very pretty. So we really don't want to put something like that on the site. It is, for me, it's very disheartening when you say plus sizes because it puts you into a different mindset. I think that our clothing should be our clothing. We may need some larger sizes because we have some larger people. For example, I have a 14-year-old daughter who is 2 inches taller than me, and if you've met me, it's not really hard to do. I'm a little vertically challenged, height deficient, under tall. But at 14 years old, she shouldn't have to be looked at as a plus-size girl, but she is. So we really don't want to classify it as that, but we are looking at bringing in some larger clothing sizes to accentuate some of the people that have some bigger muscle mass. How's that?
There you go. I like that question. That's a better question. All right, so Trisha, if you're watching, he's not against the spoons, honey. So, okay. The next question that we got was from Alicia, beautiful Alicia, and she wanted to know what the difference was with Gene Pro compared to other proteins out there.
Okay, well, in honesty, Christy, you sent me some good questions, and there's a lot of cross-pollination in some of the questions. So what the difference is between Gene Pro and some of the other proteins out there, our process as far as filtration. I'll kind of go over that just a little bit. I don't want to sound, as my wife says, too geeky, but I do get a little geeky at times. If you're looking at it from a distance, Gene Pro versus a regular protein kind of looks like zucchini and cucumbers. From a distance, it looks the same, but when you get up close to it, it's vastly different. When you cut into it, it's different. When you taste it, it's definitely different. We take a very pure raw protein that is derived here in the United States from grass-fed cattle. We want to make sure there's no hormones involved. It's not that we have anything against hormones, but the process that we put it through, it will gum up the machine if there's proteins that have hormones laced in them. So what we do is, in essence, we put the protein in a polycalamar gel. It's a real thick jelly is what it looks like. We add electricity. One side is positive, the other side is negative, and then we pulsate through that polycalamar gel electrical currents. Now, if it's too low, it doesn't do anything. If it's too high, it roasts the protein and denatures it and makes it useless. But if you have it just right, it separates the bacteria and impurities within the protein, so they kind of float to the top of the gel, and the pure protein molecule, which is about 52% smaller in size, goes to the bottom through the filtration system into a centrifuge. So we spin it really fast and dry it after that. During the process for Generation 1 Gene Pro, we hadn't refined the process good enough to where we didn't have some clumping issues at higher temperatures and higher alkaline fluids. So in Gen 2, we really want to kind of focus on that aspect of it to make sure that we didn't have clumping issues and that it was really easy to mix with anything. Now, I will take a step back. If you mix it in beer, it gets a little bit foamy. So if you like a big head on your beer, it's okay to put Gene Pro in it.
Gene Pro is beer.
Keep it to your yogurt and your oatmeal. But it really does make a huge difference in that aspect. Another question that we get a lot is how do you get the grams of protein in such a small serving size? So I'll take about 2 minutes of your time and try not to bore you too much. But basically what happens during the process, we take a protein molecule, let's say it's 1 gram of protein. It's about the size of a baseball. When it comes out the other end of the process, it's about the size of a golf ball. So if you have a shoe box and that's your serving size, you can't really get 30 baseballs in that shoe box, but you can get 30 golf balls into that shoe box. So that's kind of where the magic is with Gene Pro. The other magic, and I think this is really what makes Gene Pro so special, is the absorption rate of Gene Pro. With Gen 2, we're almost at 98%, which means there's only 2% waste that's left over, so no gastric issues, no gas, no bloating, no having to go to the bathroom very frequent. With regular whey protein, that absorption rate's at 31%. So in order for you to actually get 90 grams of protein, you have to consume, 30 grams of protein, you have to consume 90 grams of powder in order to actually get 30 grams of protein into your body. So that's the huge difference between Gene Pro and a regular whey protein. So that's your zucchini and your cucumber.
I'm so glad you clarified that because I get, every time I post something on Facebook about Gene Pro, I get so many different messages like, it's not real protein. You can't sit there and you do that. I'm like, you know what? Yes, you can. So.
Right. Well, you know, we've been in business now for only 2 years, and when we first came to the market, we just had Gene Pro. That was it. Now we've got 86 products, which I love playing Mad Chemist. You know, it wakes me up in the middle of the night thinking of these weird things to do. By the way, I want to do a nerds-infused amino acid. So you have a candy box of grape and raspberry nerds, but they're actually amino acids. Just to let you know, that's what I'm trying to work on now. So
oh, how cool!
If you haven't guessed, I'm a little ADD. See purple squirrel. So I had to kind of throw that in there. But we got a lot of those questions when we first came to market. Fortunately, you know, with our clinical studies and, you know, being widely accepted in the scientific communities helped a lot with the validity of the product. But what we've done is we've taken all the income that we've made off of Gene Pro and really expanded our line to try to fill these niche areas where the market really doesn't have a lot of these products. So for me, it's great because I can play mad scientist. I can come up with weird stuff. You know, if, for example, my wife was the inspiration for Gene Pro because she can't handle normal, regular protein. I looked in our cabinet at one time. We had 6 different flavors of protein powders in there just so she can have some variety. And if it had a chunk in it when I mixed it, I was the worst server in the world. She would send it back to the kitchen so I could remake it. So she really was the catalyst behind Gene Pro. So I've got to give her credit for that. But for me, you know, this is fun. I get to impact people's lives every day in a positive way, whereas for the last 17 years prior to this, I worked as a government contractor, kind of seeing the worst in people. So this, for me, is like a breath of fresh air every day. I love it.
And I love that this is a flavorless and odorless protein because I tried so many powders before surgery that it was just disgusting. And if it wasn't for Michael telling me, he actually sent me your video off YouTube, and he's like, order this. And that was back when it was still in the bag. You remember when it was in the bag? So I got it, and it sat on my counter for like 3 days until Michael's like, go try it right now. And I was so scared, but after that, I was literally hooked, line, sinker, in love with this product. So hands down, best ever. So Donna, you had some questions. You want to ask them?
Sure.
Do you remember your questions?
Yes, I actually have them right here.
Okay.
So I'm actually the only one on the show that has not tried Gene Pro yet.
Shaved
Okay,
eggs.
I'll forgive you for
Right,
now.
and
I'm sending her samples. Don't worry. I'm
And
sending
I
her
Okay,
decided
good.
samples.
that I was gonna actually order some, and then Christy said you were coming on the show, and I was like, well, if I haven't tried it, then that would be me coming at it from a different angle. So I'll save trying it till after. So
Okay.
I haven't actually tried it yet, and Christy's gonna send me samples because I have a terrible time with protein. I've never tasted any that I like. I'm very picky. If they're like your wife, if there's any clumps, it's over. I can't do it. So let me find which question. I think you answered most of my questions, actually.
I know he kind of broke them all down into
Right.
How about the Leesburg question?
That's what I was gonna
say. How long did you live in Leesburg, and did you grow up in Virginia?
I did all my life, actually. I grew up in Middleburg first, and then I
Okay.
moved to Leesburg when I guess about 10 years old. But I've only been in North Carolina for 4 years, so I'm a Northern Virginia transplant. So I come up there pretty often, got really good friends that's still in the area. I do not miss the traffic whatsoever, but I do miss the small town feel of Leesburg.
Right.
You know, it has definitely grown and changed a lot. And that feel where I'm at currently in North Carolina is very similar to that. So everyone kind of knows everybody. It's a smaller community here,
Right.
and real estate values and prices are a whole lot better in North Carolina than Northern Virginia too.
I bet. Yeah. See, I live in the Shenandoah Valley, so
Okay.
I'm in near Woodstock. So
Okay.
very small town, nice cattle farms everywhere. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, half of my family's from the Warrenton area, so
Okay.
very, very close.
Right.
Yep.
And I think another one of your question was, this is a good one for you, Brian. How do you balance work and family life? Because I know you need to be cloned, so.
It is difficult, and fortunately for me, my wife is ex-military, so she keeps a pretty tight ship in the house. And at usually 5 o'clock, my day starts pretty early in the morning, but at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the computer goes off. I still answer emails, but when we're at dinner, it's family time. Everybody, including the kids, puts their phones down. We have 9-month-old twins, a boy and a girl, so we're very blessed in that. It keeps us very busy, though. And we're very active in our church. So every other weekend we volunteer in the nursery. Not that we don't have enough kids to deal with on our normal, regular lives. But I tell you what, you guys can see, I don't look like the normal churchgoer, shaved head, tattoos, a little bit of muscle. So I work in, the nursery, and the first couple times, families would come by, drop their kids off, and they were looking for the cameras to see if they were phone. They're like, really? I'm supposed to give my kid to this guy? But no, we try to stay really involved, and it's something that's very important to us to keep grounded and to keep to our roots as far as being a Christian-run company. So that's very important to us. Yeah, family's great.
I like that. You had another one about the in your bariatric list, didn't you, Donna?
Yeah. So my surgeon, when I had surgery, of course, I'm going to be 3 years out next month.
Okay.
But when I had surgery, obviously Gene Pro wasn't one of the ones that they recommended. So a couple of weeks ago, I went back and I was like, so can I have the updated bariatric list? And they're like, it's the exact same. And I'm like, but there's new proteins on the market. So are there plans to start working maybe with bariatric programs to get on, to get them more knowledgeable about it?
Well, yeah, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. When we started this company, it was more of a side project. I've been very involved in fitness and nutrition all my life, but when we designed and developed Gene Pro, I had a very narrow vision that it was going to be more fitness-oriented. I've been a gym rat forever, and this was great. Post-gym, I could just take those little travel packs and just throw it in my mouth and swish some water in it from the water fountain and get my grams of protein. But what really happened was, as the product started to grow in popularity, I started getting all these email responses from the WLS community about how important that the nutrition is from their protein, and how serving sizes need to be condensed, and that they just really don't have the appetite, and the stomach size, the volume just wasn't there. So it's been a huge learning curve for me. I like to say that I know a whole bunch about nutrition, and I think I do. But I think there's more for me to learn than what I actually know currently. So it's been an uphill battle getting in with the folks, because the market, even like in the fitness realm, you have your favorites, and your dietitians and your surgical centers all have their favorites. So it's been difficult working into those groups and kind of giving them samples and letting them try it and look at the the accolades that we have from the scientific community, which helps us out a lot. But it's been a steady uphill battle for us, and it's something that for us, we don't want to give up because we think it's more important for the WLS community than the fitness community. Don't get me wrong, adding 10 pounds to your bench press is great, but it's not nearly as important as keeping your daily nutrition on point.
Right.
So we have two folks that are really close to me as far as in the company structure, that's their sole focus is to work and try to grow the bariatric line.
That's awesome.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to sit there and because most of us are just a number to companies, you know. But
and I think that's how it is, Christy. To be honest with you, through the nutrition industry, you know, we're trying to change things a little bit by trying to link arms with our customers. And you know, I've told you plenty of times, it's extended family. It's not a customer number.
Yeah.
If there's an issue with the product, we try to take care of it. Customer service is just a lost art these days. It's gone. People don't care because there's 3 other people that they can sell to later down the road. Yeah. And I don't think that that's the way to do business. You build a business by building a loyal customer base. You know, I mean, look at you as a brand ambassador. You've done incredibly well for us just spreading the word of GenePro. If it wasn't for us being able to make that connection, that would have never happened. And other nutrition companies don't take that act. They want to dump their money into marketing rather than to actually building a product that makes a difference.
Right. I agree. I totally agree with you on that. That's just, that's why I like it, because even with you, if I had a question, I could sit there and or send you a message on Facebook and you respond back, and even your wife, she's done that too, respond back to me. So it's like, it's just amazing that all of you could sit there and I could send a message and it's like, I get a response back, or I get an answer to a question, and you're there to sit there, and it's like, if I need help with something, y'all were there. So that's what this company is just, you're going to hear it again. It's amazing.
To me, it really shows the heart of the company and where their values lie.
Exactly.
In which, when you come across a company with great values, I mean, sure, you want to use that company for everything.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Brand loyalty.
Having like the brand ambassadors, you know, I love that idea because, I mean, you've got regular folks out there spreading your word that are not tied to the company.
Right.
Well, and, you know, you look at all the bodybuilding magazines or fitness magazines, and you've got the latest and greatest professional bodybuilder, you know, repping somebody's brand, and 9 out of 10 times they've never even used the products. And, you know, what kind of message is that sending to, and I'm going to look back at me. I was a guinea pig. When I was 13, 14 years old looking at bodybuilding magazines, I bought into every single marketing hoax that was out there. You know, if the biggest bodybuilder was using it, I thought I could take it and look like that person. And, you know, that's just not real world. I mean, we've got some really good, you know, talented athletes on the team, but we've got everyday regular people. You know, I'm a father of 4. I have a 13-year-old, 8-year-old, and 2 9-month-olds. And, you know, if it wasn't for our products, my, you know, health and, you know, immunity system and everything else would be down in the toilet because just my time is so limited to eat properly.
Right.
And people just don't take that into consideration. They look at the magazines and they see the big bodybuilder and they think they can look like that. And it just doesn't paint a realistic picture.
Yeah. And what I love about your company, too, your products are not just protein powders, fat burners, supplements. I mean, you have children gummies in there. You have vitamins. You have the magic pill of all, Sleep Easy, that I praise God to, that has saved me as a bariatric patient because we don't sleep much, and it's helped me. I mean, but you have a variety of things there, and you're not just targeting the gym for the bodybuilders, or you're not just targeting the weight loss people for GenePro. It's everything is there, and it's like I can't stop talking about it enough. I'm always on Facebook spreading the word, or I'm mixing. I feel like you sometimes because I sit there and I just mixed green magic with pancake mix and made pancakes, and I was like, ooh, look what I did. So it's like and it's crazy because I get a shipment in of your products and I'm like, oh, I got this to try, I got that to try, I got this to try. So it's like I'm like a guinea pig for you. It's like, send them on this way. I'll guinea pig.
I love it. And we're going to add on to the site. We're changing and revamping it a little bit, but we're going to do a recipe section so we can all share recipes using GenePro or Angus or any of the products. For me, it's kind of fun. I'll put stuff together. I make scones in the morning for the kids. Again, my son is just not a meat eater, so I've got to get Gene Pro in him however I can. And Angus, I don't know if you've tried that yet, but it's a chocolate peanut butter. It tastes like Reese's Cups. And it's a beef protein. And, you know, everyone says beef protein. Does it taste like beef jerky with a peanut butter undertone? No, it tastes great. It tastes like Reese's Cups. It really does. And so, you know, I try to squeeze stuff into him, and he's like one of my biggest, you know, critics, but also proponents, too. So if I can get an 8-year-old to drink beef protein, I know I've done something right.
Yeah. I mean, my family eats Gene Pro, too. I mean, I've baked with it, cooked with it. You know, they've tried it all. So, you know, they're getting their protein in, too, let me tell you. Okay, let's get back into the questions. We're just going to ramble on about how successful this company is. Let's see. Where were we? I haven't tried. Oh, we already did that one. That's Donna's. This one came in from what do we expect at WLSFA from Musclegen? What are we going to expect seeing you guys there? And first, are you driving the cars down?
No, we're flying, actually.
Come on.
Sorry. But no, yeah, we're going to fly in. And to be honest with you, a lot of the inspiration from our products comes from our customer base. So what I'm kind of looking forward to, again, me being a newbie to the WLS community, is getting feedback from you guys, talking to the people that actually utilize the products, see what is needed in the bariatric community, so we can try to formulate stuff that makes a difference. Not just to add something to our bariatric line, but something that's needed. So for me, that's my biggest point. I mean, we're going to have great, you know, sales on Gene Pro and our mule replacement and all that good stuff, but I'm really there to kind of learn. So I'm hoping that you guys come up, you know, see me at the table and tell me what is needed.
Oh, honey, I'm wearing all my Gene Pro clothing, and I'm just going to have, like, you know, the director, the things for the airplanes, and just lead them to you. That's how I'm doing it, so.
Excellent. Well, I am not wearing a cowboy hat or cowboy boots, just to let you know. I don't think I can pull it off.
I know. He commented on a post. He's like, do I have to get a cowboy hat and cowboy boots? I was like, come on, you got to get into it. So, yeah. Okay, let's get into the next one. What supplement products would you recommend? This came from somebody, I can't remember who it was, but what supplement products would you recommend for a weight loss patient trying to get back into the gym and gain muscle after losing weight?
Well, and that's a great question. There's a couple of questions that really were geared towards products that weren't maybe designed for a bariatric line. It really depends on your fitness level, your age, and really what your goals are. You know, we've got the Angus protein, which is probably the best protein on the market that we have for building muscle mass. But as we get older, too, our hormone levels change. So for us guys, the testosterone is really where that's the bread and butter. Our sexual functionality comes from that, our ability to burn fat and to build lean mass. So we do have some testosterone boosters and replacements, everything from mild to wild. But what a lot of females don't understand is that testosterone is very important for them, too. Now, not an overabundance where, you know, you've got to shave your mustache off in the morning before you go to work. But you need a little testosterone to be able to build some muscle and lose some body fat. So really, and this is one of the other questions, too, about the MedFit RX, that's kind of where the MedFit idea came about. And for MedFit, we're going to start off with 4 locations, and we really are going to spread that out. We're going to sell franchises. And it's really geared towards changing the environment of weight loss and muscle building. You know, Jenny Craig's and the Weight Watchers of the world really do teach some bad eating habits. And I think you guys understand that coming from the community that you're in, it's just not healthy. You know, I know a lot of people that were either going through a high school reunion or getting ready for their wedding that went to Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig, and they did drop the pounds, but then right after the event, they rebounded back and they actually gained more weight. They were starving themselves in the evenings. So really what MedFit is it takes it to a different degree. We're going to be able to test genetics and your blood to really see where you as an individual are lacking or have excesses in. So the blood testing will do mostly hormones. So we'll see where your estrogen levels are, your IGF, your GH levels, testosterone levels, your thyroid levels, because that's really going to dictate where your body is currently. For your genetics, we're going to test over 40 different genes, how you metabolize caffeine, how you actually absorb protein, burn fats, environmental factors. So we're able to pinpoint and give you a blueprint on what your nutrition needs to look like from a macronutrient level from breakfast all the way through dinner time and bedtime. even if you have to get up in the middle of the night when you have to go to the bathroom, like most of us that are over 40 have to do, to drink either a protein shake or even carbs to help burn fat. So it gives a blueprint from everything from nutrition to workout to supplementation. So it takes the guesswork out. And if you look at our site, we have over 86 products. It's cumbersome, it's confusing. If you don't know what you're looking for, it's hard to point something out that you think is going to work. We have a lot of products that are very similar in nature, but if taken with different products, work very differently in your chemistry. You don't know that just being a normal person. So what most supplement companies want you to do is they want you to go to your website, they want you to buy 10 products. And if you lose 10 pounds, that's great, but you don't know which product is actually working for your body chemistry. I'd rather you come on, let us do the genetic testing, take 1 or 2 products and get the same or better results, and it'd be healthier for you in the long run because you're not bombarding your body with, all these different foreign products coming into your system. So it's taking weight management and physique augmentation to a different level. So not just in the WLS community, but think about athletes. If you're a high school or collegiate athlete that wants to try to step it up to the next level, instead of going to the anabolic steroids or performance enhancers that may harm your body, what if you change your nutrition and your supplement regimen based on your genetics to be able to perform at the highest level your body can and do it safely? So it's a totally different approach, a scientific approach to physique augmentation, whether it's weight loss or muscle building. And that's really where we're going at with MedFit RX. And really, when we started it, it was to try to do clinical trials and testing, beta testing for our products that we were getting ready to bring to market. But then it kind of took a life of its own, saying, hey, we can really help people take the guesswork out of weight loss and bodybuilding by actually doing this. So that's where the whole idea and concept of MedFit came out.
Wow, I think that's amazing. And I did link Musclegen Research and MedFit RX Facebook page down below in the description box. So go check them out, guys. Like them and check them out there. Well, I thought I saw something on one of the posts for that you can even have your labs sent to, if you're not a clinic's near you, you can have your labs sent to you guys and you'll still work with them?
Correct. We can send you a kit so you can do your own swab. It just looks like a large Q-tip that you take the inside of your cheek for the genetic testing, and then we have a relationship with Quest Diagnostics. So you can go, I can write you a prescription for any Quest Diagnostics Center to get your blood drawn. They send me the results along with you at the same time. We have it all online, real time, everything from the genetics to your blood results. So you can see it no matter where you are. So if you're not near a clinic, we can do it remote as well.
That's amazing. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. We also had some more questions. What do you see for the future for Musclegen?
Well, if you would have asked me 2 years,
I know.
if you would have asked me 2 years ago, it would probably have been vastly different than now. But for me, this is my passion. This is something that I've loved my whole entire life, and to be able to do it as a living, it really, I do feel blessed. We try to give back to our local community, but I really see Musclegen Research going the extra mile and trying to do stuff that is not just here in the Raleigh area. It's not just, our warehouse is in Ohio because it's more of a centralized location, so we give back in that area too. But I see us spreading out. I'd really like to do scholarship funds for individuals that don't have the money to be able to pay for Gene Pro. We're working with a couple of the insurance companies now to try to get it approved. So if you have certain insurances, that they'll pay for a portion of the proteins. It's an expensive supplement, and we want to make sure that we can get it into everybody's hands that needs it. And right now, that's just not where we are. So we're working towards that because we really do want. This is obviously something different than just going down to the store and buying protein at Walmart. We want to make sure the people that need it can get it. So that's really where our direction is to try to, obviously we have to make money to stay in business. But I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I haven't taken a salary in 2 years. So I do work off of commission for the vendor accounts that I sell, but my normal salary that I would take goes back into product development. Once we get to the point to where I think we have a product line that's self-sufficient and we're only bringing out 1 or 2 products a year, then I'll start taking a salary. But it's more important for me to build the company, to be able to support the lifestyles for the folks that we have that rely on our products. So really that's where we are right now. 2 years from now, I'm hoping that we're in every single GNC and vitamin shop that you can go right down the street and get whatever Musclegen product that you want. We are fortunate enough that GNC did pick us up. We're in 188 of their stores, so it's slowly going into that direction, and that's where we want to go. But even at that point, you can't go into GNC and buy it at a discount. And we want to make sure that people can get the product that need it.
That's amazing. So cool. So cool. Okay, what about, will there be a calcium and a B12 supplement added to the bariatric line?
Now, we do have a vitamin D liquid for the bariatric line that's high in calcium, and we will have a B12 liquid vitamin at the WLSF conference.
Oh.
So there'll be an official release for it there in Nashville.
Let me just tell, because I did buy the meal replacement, the vitamin D, the omega-3. I got those, and I'm still getting the regular vitamin, and then I'm going to get the probiotic. But the vitamin D, guys, usually when you do liquid drops, it smells like grandma's medicine cabinet, okay? That's what it smells like. This stuff does not smell, and it does not taste. You are a genius. Let me just tell you, because that's the only way I'm going to take my vitamins and drink my protein. If it doesn't smell like, wave farts or grandma's kitchen, I'll sit there and do it. But that is genius. I could sit there and literally put that in my mouth and not taste nothing.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put that on a loop and put it on my cell phone, and every time my wife starts arguing with me, I'm just going to say, it's genius, you're genius, you're genius, just to let you know I'm going to do that.
She'll probably send me a message tomorrow. You made Brian's head this big. Okay, we talked about the MedFit clinic. Okay, we had a few questions from Sherry, and she wanted to know if a woman of the age 50 or older never had weight loss surgery, would like to lose weight and become healthier, what would you suggest for her? And I think you did touch a little bit on that with the bariatric.
And again, I think you guys are probably more aware of this than anybody else, but 90% of what we gain or lose comes from our diet. It's our nutrition. So that's really where we would try to focus on anyone. It doesn't matter if they're 20 or they're 50. We need to look at especially if they're trying to lose a little bit of weight and turn that to muscle. And again, for someone that's over 50, it's more so a hormonal thing than a nutritional thing. I mean, it's a combination of the two. But we do have, I brought out to market a women's testosterone booster called Stiletto. It's very mild, but someone that is really over the age of 35, female, could really boost their testosterone levels to burn fat and gain muscle at the same time. So there's no magic pill that's out there. Blue 22 is incredible. That'll keep you pumped, throughout the day as far as a fat burner. It's almost too potent for me, but it's not a magic pill either. But with hormone boosters such as Stiletto, that's really for the mainstream environment for a lady who's over 30 years old to really balance that estrogen and testosterone level to burn fat and build mass. So that's what I would suggest. Now, there was somebody else that had emailed you in about Slasher, thinking that Slasher was an energy drink. And it does give you energy because it has caffeine, it's got guarana, some of the other, roots and minerals that give you an energy boost, but it really is a powdered fat burner. And it tastes like Kool-Aid. So you've got to be dangerous. You got to be pretty responsible with it. It's 1 or 2 servings a day. You don't want to take it after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because then you won't sleep, even if you're taking Sleep Easy. So, don't mix it with Blue 22. That would be a bad combination. If you are working like she was asking in her question, she's working, 8, 10-hour days, it's a great supplement to be able to throw in your water. It tastes great, but you don't want to mix it with any other fat burners. Right. We do have Chaos. We've had that out. It tastes like a diet Red Bull. It's sugar-free, but we have a new one that's coming out that is a pineapple mango flavor. And it tastes like a carbonated flavored water. It's really light. It's really crisp. It's refreshing. So it's got some electrolytes in it as well as the energy boosters, and we'll have that out in about 6 weeks. So check that out. It is sugar-free as well. I'm not a huge Red Bull or Monster Energy fan. But it's along those lines. It's 180 grams of caffeine, so you don't want to consume 6 of them in a day. I don't want to get those emails that my heart's about to explode. But it is a great product, and if at the end of the day, if you need to mix it with vodka to go to bed, you can do that too.
Yeah, he was telling me you can mix Gene Pro in your vodka too. He said it's really good, so I have to try that when I go to Nashville.
Yeah, you know, with twins and running a couple of businesses, you've got to make sure, and it really is just for scientific evaluation, that I have to mix all of our products with alcohol just to see how it works.
You just got to sample it out. I understand.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
How do you become part of that research team?
Right. I think we all want to volunteer for that one.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay me. Just
Excellent.
supply the alcohol and the mix-in organ.
Get a monthly package from Ohio.
Right.
Sherry also had another question. She wanted to know if someone fractured their tibia, what products would you suggest for them to repair and help rebuild?
Sure. Protein, protein, protein. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but protein is probably the most valuable resource as far as nutrients that you can put into your body.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we have a product called Flex Matrix, which is, you know, it helps the ligaments and tendons repair and recover, whether it's from a hard workout or from an injury. So those are the two things that I would, you know, say that would probably be the best supplements: protein and Flex Matrix.
Yeah, I did recommend to her. Well, actually, I bought the bottle. Bleacher. Is it Bleacher?
Breacher, yeah, and that's from our Patriot line. But yeah, Breacher and Flex Matrix are pretty similar in nature. Both of them have the conjoint and glucosamine in it, so they'll definitely help those ligaments and tendons repair.
Yeah, I bought that for her to try out and stuff because she's just getting back to work and stuff, and I'm like, here, I'll get this for you to try, and so she's been using it, and she said it's been amazing for her. So, and her last question she wanted to know, she sat there and texted me this today, and she said, would you bundle packages for one price, like a kit? Would you ever consider doing this?
We are, and that's part of the revamp of the website, because again, it's so cumbersome with all the products that we have. Unless you really know or someone's told you what you need to get, you really don't have a clue. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you can still go and click on bariatrics and be able to go to the Musclegen medical site, but we're going to have a female line and a men's line. It'll be based on your goals, your fitness levels, and your age, and we'll have pre-designed packages for you based on those. So if you're, you know, in your 50s and you're just starting working out and want to lose a little bit of weight, you click on that, and it'll give you a package that we design, and then you can have add-ons too. So we like to start off with not throwing everything, you know, at you like the kitchen sink, but start off moderate and then be able to build upon that. So we really know what's working for you. And so that's the whole redesign of the website, is to be able to have those pre-designed packages at a bundled price.
Wow, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. All right, I got a couple more questions, and then we'll go into YouTube questions real quick. Dennis said, now I've told this before to everybody, if everybody's ever seen my live feeds, videos, or anything. I cook and bake with Gene Pro, but he wants to know, can you cook or bake with Gene Pro? And if you can, does it lose any grams of protein while cooking or baking?
It can denature, and you know, anytime you put a protein at heat for an extended period of time, it can do that. So for me, I do use it in my spaghetti sauce, but I do it right before I put it on the table. So I don't cook with it, simmer with it. As soon as I put it on the table, I put a scoop in the sauce when I put it into, you know, on top of the spaghetti. I do bake with it. If you keep it under 425 degrees for under 15 minutes, no denaturing happens. But that is a great question, because obviously in the morning I put it in my coffee too. So I usually mix it with my sugar-free creamer first, and then put it underneath the Keurig, and the hot stuff goes in, and it's great. There's no issue with hot coffee, because it's usually, you know, not hot enough to denature the coffee, and usually you drink it before that happens anyway.
Right. Okay. And that was our last question from Randy VSG. She said she is loving Gene Pro. I got her hooked on it. So, but she said, "How
like
can
a drug dealer?"
I do. Everybody calls me the pusher. I'm the pusher. She's got codes, and she's the pusher.
Right.
But anyway, she wants to know, how can I avoid clumping, especially in hot coffee? At what point should I add the Gene Pro into her drink? So.
Right. For me, here I have a higher alkaline water, because I have an alkaline machine, because I think it's important to kind of get that higher alkaline value in my water, and it will clump a little bit. So for my coffee, I mix it with my sugar-free creamer first. Then obviously it's totally dissolved, and the coffee goes in, and it's fine. With Generation 2 Gene Pro, there's a higher level of pH where it affects it. So it's much easier. And you've got the Generation 2 now, those black packs is Gen 2. So as soon as it hits the liquid now, it starts dissipating. It almost dissolves upon impact. So that clumping now is pretty much a non-issue.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm getting ready to try it tomorrow. So I was waiting to do a video, and I had so many things to do, so I want to do a video on it so everybody can see it. But don't be like me, guys. Only order 2 samples at a time. Don't be like me. You'll get yelled at. So, Frenchie girl Natalie, she wants to know. She sent me a text, and she said, "How can someone like herself become an ambassador for Gene Pro?"
Well, every 6 months we're going to do a kind of an ambassador program like we did before, where it's a kind of a competition. And the only reason we do a competition is because we, as a staff on this side, don't want anything to do with the selection process. Because we become connected with you guys, through emails and messages. We've got a personal connection. So our viewpoint's a little tainted on who we would like to work with. We want it, to be a little fair of a process. But that doesn't mean that, if we bond with you in the meantime, that we don't extend those opportunities. It's not like we're writing everybody a check to come aboard, because that's not how the ambassador program works.
No.
We want people that love the product and love working with us and kind of link arms with us. So it's not to say she has to wait 6 months for the next competition. But one of the things that we did in the competition is we wanted to make sure that everybody was actually a Musclegen user. When you put a paycheck to it and athletic sponsorship, you get people come out of the woodwork that really have never used your products before, and they say you do. So we try to eliminate that. We try to go back through our sales reports to see who has purchased our products. If someone says Jack the Ripper is my favorite product, well, right now there's only a couple stores that sell Jack the Ripper, plus our online store. So it's pretty easy for us to figure out if you really use Jack the Ripper or not.
Yeah.
So we try to do a pretty good investigative background on folks.
A lot of people are getting it from Amazon too.
Yeah, and fortunately for us, Amazon's been a great tool for us.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a downside to Amazon, because we don't have a control over a lot of how people sell. It's important for us when someone purchases Gene Pro on Amazon to give it a good rating, because it boosts us up on the sales reports. Are you okay, Christy? You going to survive?
Probably went down the wrong pipe there. It hurts my feelings. Yeah, it hurts my feelings when people go to Amazon. It just breaks me up.
Right. So we do have map control of our product, which basically means each of our vendors can only sell it at 15% below. That's the lowest they can sell at, 15% below retail price, because we don't want them in competition against each other, and we don't want to lower the value of the product either. So Amazon's a blessing and a curse in that aspect. It is evil in our household, because I see every time my wife buys something on Amazon, it comes up on my phone, and that happens more than I'd like to admit. In our area now, we have the 2-hour time window. So if you order it, so it shows up at the door in 2 hours.
Oh, I'm glad we don't have that here in Ohio, because
it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Is it coming? Because Garrett would be in heaven. My husband is the Amazon king, so. I know we talked about shipping to the UK. Me and you personally talked about it, and you're working on that. But and I believe we do ship to Canada, correct?
We do ship to Canada, and it's expensive though. And we're working on the Canada distributorship as well. We've got 2 very large international distributors that we're working with, and it's great for us because it spreads the brand across borders. But we want to make sure that we're doing it in the right way too, to where the folks that are in the UK or in Canada are getting the quality products, and not just Gene Pro, because like I said, we've got 86 products. So it's hard for a distributor coming in saying, okay, I'm going to take all 86 products, because it gets expensive for them. So we really want to start off with Gene Pro and then kind of expand from there, because it's more important for us to get the protein out there. So we are working for a Canadian distributorship and a UK distributorship. So I'm hoping, and please don't put this in writing and hold me to it, but I'm hoping by 1st of June we'll have those agreements in place so that we can offer those outside of the U.S.
Nice. Okay, I have no more on this side. Do you have anything on YouTube, Donna?
There are no questions on YouTube at all. Somebody had mentioned earlier that it wasn't letting them post questions.
Okay, because I guess that's why I'm getting all the questions over here on this side. And I think Michael, do you have anything, hun?
I don't have.
You're just over there in awe.
Yeah, I'm just like soaking in all this knowledge. I mean, I've only tried a few products, and I'm in awe. I mean, this company has been amazing. I mean, learning about it. So
even with our haters out there too, I'll just
exactly.
give them a little plug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and I have very thin skin, and obviously I take things very personally, and it's something that I'm trying to get over. But like patience, it's not working very well. So this has been my baby, and I do take things very personally. And I just hope that you guys and your followers and your viewers realize that we're in this for the right reasons. We really do want to make a difference in the industry that's really been tainted.
Yeah.
So I try to answer all emails myself, which gets daunting at times, but I think that that's just the right way to do it. And until I can't do it anymore, I want to continue to. Because I think that's where we'll make a difference.
Yeah.
It's not always about just making a sale. It's about bringing someone into the extended family. And I don't think a lot of nutrition companies realize that. They throw the marketing out there, and they hope that they catch a whole bunch of big fish. I want a whole bunch of little fish that we can all swim together. So I hope you guys kind of get that feeling from us. I think you do.
I know I do.
I get that back from you guys. So I personally want to thank you for having me on the show. My daughter's watching too. It's past her bedtime. So, but anytime that you guys want me to come on, give a tidbit, please let me know. I'll be glad to do it. Now that we have the technology.
Right. now that we got to figure it out. But I definitely want to get you back when you get MedFit running and going, so everybody out there can get a feel of MedFit, because I think this is going to be an amazing thing for not just the weight loss people or people that are getting ready to have surgery, but for everybody out there that is on some kind of journey, fitness, weight loss, whatever it is. I think it's going to be an amazing.
Yeah, I think MedFit really speaks to me, because I didn't realize until I was going through the bariatric surgery process that there was actually a medical reason that I had trouble losing weight. I had PCOS, and I never knew that until I went through the bariatric process. So had I known that, it could have saved steps, and I could have, been on this journey a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think we all share. Doesn't matter what our journey is in fitness and nutrition. We share the desire to better ourselves. And I think what MedFit's going to do is going to allow us to, I don't want to say cut corners, but get a blueprint that actually works. Because something that works for me, Christy's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for Michael. We're all very different.
Right.
And if we can kind of figure out what those differences are, we can make things a lot easier, a lot less emotional, a lot less striving as far as the setbacks that we have. Because I think we all, doesn't matter what our goals are, we can take one step forward and 2 steps back, and a lot of people end up giving up. And I don't want that to happen. I want us to be able to all kind of move forward at the same time. And that's what MedFit will do.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I want to thank you, truly amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show, and for me being a part of this company, this team, this family. It's changed my life completely, and I know everybody is probably sick of me seeing about Gene Pro or something, but you know what? You're not going to stop, so don't sit there and think you're going to stop after this has been on the show. So no. I will still post and talk about my products, but I truly want to thank you, Brian, for being an amazing person and doing what you do to help, us in the weight loss community, because it's truly touched a lot of people, and it's saved a lot of people too.
Well, thank you. That's what keeps us motivated, keeps me driven anyway. And again, thanks for having me on the show, and I'll see you guys just in a couple weeks.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.